Hi, my name is Soile, and you're listening to Heartland, a fan podcast from a fan perspective. Welcome back. I have to start with some bad news before I let you have some fun. Last week, when I talked about the Audience Choice Awards that was happening on Sunday, unfortunately, Heartland didn't win again this year. Hudson and Rex did, which is sort of funny if you listen to today's podcast. We sort of make a reference to Hudson and Rex without knowing that it would actually be the one to beat Heartland. And unfortunately, this is the last part of the Aidan experience. And I just want to say that thank you all for the lovely response. And especially thank you, Aidan, for being so open to the conversations that we had and maybe talking about some things you didn't expect to talk about. But I think, or I hope that they resonate with some of you and maybe help you understand the world a little bit differently after hearing a different perspective of life. But yeah, it's the final part. It's been fun to edit some of these footage because it's now been over a month since I did this. Like I remember the things that we talked about, but some of the things were like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So it's been a real pleasure. Again, thank you, Aidan, for doing this, and yeah, enjoy the podcast. So, what has been your fondest memory behind the scenes or while filming? Something you go back to and be like, oh, that was a good day or a moment, or, something that you kind of feel warm about when you think about it.
I do need to be more in the moment this year because a lot of them are a blur, to be honest, because the adrenaline does hit you when you're there. One of the fondest moments that I don't think I've ever probably shared before was season 14. Probably would have been my second or third day. So episode 4, where the train derailment, sitting in the trailer. And that was when I just literally was it towards the end or the final of my divorce? And it was really combative. So it was a lot of stress and I wasn't dealing with it very well, but I was trying to hold it together to do this show and I got this job, right? And I was stressing about if the dogs were okay. I had so much going on. It was the weirdest time of my life. And I sat in the makeup chair and Annie, our makeup artist, she sat there and I know this is a real like whatever story, but she literally said, "Are you okay?" No one had asked me that in so long. I think because COVID as well, like we weren't interacting with people. And I really wasn't telling many people about what was going on. I never really have told anyone what went on. So for her, and I just started crying, but very quietly because I'm not a huge crier. And there was Gabriel Hogan in the chair next to me, and I'd never met him before. And so I was trying to, and Annie leant down and she was like, just let it go. And she was going around them and she just started talking utter nonsense so that Gabriel Hogan didn't notice. And she put her hand on my shoulder and she was like, "I've got you."
Yeah.
And it's just one of those moments where I was like, as much as I probably in that moment could never have gone back to that show again because I was on an episode by episode, I just felt like that's when I realized how important that show could be to me. I was like, I need this. This is where I need to be at this moment. And that it's not necessarily about being an actor on a TV show. It's the community behind it that I needed at that moment. I would say that is I know I probably should have bigger and better moments than that.
No, but it's like whatever is
Special
meaningful.
moment.
Yeah.
Because then after I got up and my voice went lower, I went, "Nice to meet you, Gabriel." Yeah.
No, I'm sure he would have been, fine with it. But
No, I know, but it was just
yeah,
like not on the first
yeah.
moment.
You're like, I don't
Why
even
did
know
you
you.
ask
I'm
me that,
sorry.
Annie?
Like the first impression and all that. No, but I think with many of the cast members, like with Nolden, she's talked about, losing her mother and
Yeah.
and the show kind of coming to her in the right moment to kind of help her deal with that and kind of start
Bonded
a
over that
yeah.
driving to the dude ranch actually
Yeah,
when we were
so kind
I
of healing experience.
was
Like
it
maybe it's not something we get to see as an audience, but it's like so meaningful for all of you.
because it wasn't the dude ranch actually, it was wherever we were going, but me and Nolden shared a car ranch. Maybe it was to an airport or something.
Mm.
But she shared the moment about her parents, and then I was talking about where I was going with my life. And we both said, like, this is what was meant to be at this moment. She said, if this would have happened 3 years ago, me coming to Alberta and spending time away, she said she would have said no, but she needed it in this moment. And so yeah, I'm just grateful for the show as a whole. But yeah, it was those moments. The people behind the scenes really make the show.
Yeah,
And I know people say that, but they do.
yeah.
And a lot of people have been on it since the beginning.
Yeah, that's why I'm always like so interested about the process because it's not just what you see the end result, but it's like so much of what happens behind the scenes and all the work people put into and like
Yeah.
cheer each other
You
on
never
and
get the
whatever.
recognition, as
Yeah.
well. It must be hard, I think, because they are so important to it. So that's why I try and lift them up as much as possible and make them feel appreciated. They work so much harder than we do, so much harder than we do. They're there before we get there, they're there after we leave. They're doing so much, and they're literally just like click chat all day, like you go over there or you do that, whereas we're treated like royalty.
Yeah, and it's just their
It's
name
like,
at
does
the
baby
end
want a
credits
cup
and
of water? Baby want a cup of water? Yes, please. I want it. Like we're treated like babies, that we're happy and okay. But yeah, that's why this job was meant for me, Silas.
I just love to hear those stories because it's so nice to know that the show has helped the people who work in it as well. Because
Yeah.
the stories give a lot of comfort for the fans as well. But it's like always nice to know that it's much bigger than that.
And she's always been there for me after that as well, So
Mm.
it's building those friendships beyond that.
And it can be like the show can end at some point, like
Right.
who knows? But like
Will it? Will it? I don't think.
yeah, probably not, but yeah. But like you
I
continue
feel
to
like
have
this show will be on until like, I don't know, like beyond
56
like
season. But like those friendships stay with you forever, probably.
for
So
sure.
yeah.
Like as I'm going out west for an event next week, and Annie is coming. We got some spare tickets, and so I'm
Mm.
bringing Annie with us, and not to do the makeup. Like she's just maybe she'll
You could like
like why you're here.
like I was thinking like maybe something like shiny on the cheekbones or
Get to work, honey.
like what do you thought you got the ticket? I want to talk a little bit about the season finale of season 16 when you had the experience of working with Michelle's baby, Celeste or Cece. I don't know which one she uses, but how was that experience like? And how do you think fatherhood will change Rick, or will it?
I don't know. I know it's bad, but I hadn't really thought about that, if it would change him, because it was more about the journey up until that point, because I
Mm,
wasn't sure what the end game was, if he was actually going to get what he wanted,
yeah.
because there was it's getting so close, but it could be taken away, or this could happen. So we know so little about Rick and Carl,
Mm.
about their relationship, about how it works and the dynamics, that I don't at this moment know if the writers even know how much it would change Rick.
Yeah, but do you
I'm
have
sort of,
like your own like maybe he calms down a little bit or maybe he gets
no, I think he would be like a hell. I think he would be Lou, but worse.
he's like I totally get you now like
I think he would be a nightmare. I think the baby would be the center of everyone's universe, I would be moaning about no sleep, no this, no that, and that Carl does nothing. And yeah, I think he's going to be Lou, and that's why they are best friends, because he's her in male form. Yeah, I think that was the question, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, and like, what was it working with Celeste as well? Like
that was Michelle, you probably heard, sent a little audition video, sent it to me because we joked about it I think we just filmed Maggie's episode 13, where I get the phone call of we've got a baby. And that was when we got the script for episode 15. So that was when we knew it was happening, that there was going to be a baby. So then Michelle just looked at me. She was like, wouldn't it be funny if like Cece was... And I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. Amazing. She was like, I'm just gonna send like... And I didn't think she was being serious. I really didn't think she was being serious. And then she sent me the video that she'd sent to Mark. And then a week passed and nothing happened. And I just thought like nothing of it, because it's like when an actor gets an audition, you don't really bring it up unless they say something, because you don't want to like focus on them not getting it.
Was Celeste like, okay, you know, with the stress? Like,
how's she
was she waiting for the phone call? Like, come on now.
But then Michelle messaged me, she was like, Cece's going to be your baby. And I was like, what? And straight away, I automatically felt like it was going to be a breeze, because I'd never thought that I would have to play a character where I was being a dad. It just was never in my realm of possibility. So then when I started to realize I'm going to have to build a rapport and a connection with this guy who's going to play Carl finally, and then hold a baby. And you know what I'm like with props. So
you're like shaking the baby.
Right? So I was like, this is going to be a nightmare. And then luckily, Michelle was so kind to allow me to spend time with Cece. And so even before we did the scene, I was in the trailer changing Cece's nappy. And I was like, oh, so this is how we're bonding. She's like, here you go.
Not something you would usually do, but
and I have never changed a nappy, and I have 2 nephews, but I've never got my hands dirty. So I was like, Michelle. But it really helped Cece be comfortable with me. I spent some time with the trailer as well. And there was moments when we were filming where Michelle obviously had to then concentrate on what she was doing. And so Michelle's nanny was on set. But there was moments where she said, just hand her back to the nanny if you want to in between takes. And yeah, I did maybe once. But apart from that, me and Cece got on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
Everyone was so impressed. I could tell people were like dubious how I'd be able to handle it. And like if she started crying, or what do they call a dummy here? A pacifier.
Yeah.
And then the pacifier sort of fell out. Like I'd be
like, what's that?
But no, it was that was a lot of fun. And I also loved how cute everyone was around Cece, because obviously everyone was sitting there. So like Jessica Steen kept on getting up in between and was like, oh, could you. So yeah, it was fun. But what was more fun, no offense to Cece, was when, you know, the last scene where I reveal about the mayoral race, we're leaning into a baby carriage and there's no baby there. And so that's where Jessica Steen kept the 2 glasses of wine that she starts with.
This is the exclusive you're going to get.
So before that whole scene starts, that's where Jessica started from, before she went over and Bay gave her the... So that scene was played longer for us than it did on screen. And the music that they actually played, if anyone was out of time, was the song Top Loader, Dancing in the Moonlight.
Yeah.
You know that song from like... that was the song that they played, and that's why Quinn's doing that, like,
because sometimes I know they only have like the beat, so you could be like,
when I did background years ago, they used to just play 2 seconds of a song and then cut it off, and you sort of had to just like remember, and it'd be like but no, they played it the whole way through until there was dialogue. But no, it definitely made it more fun, and I loved how it was more about Cece than it was about my performance. And I think I even like I barely had any lines, but I think I even forgot them because I was so obsessed with Cece. I was like, wait, what are we doing? Oh, right.
Yeah. Because I remember when it was first announced that, Rick was probably going to adopt, and we knew that, Michelle was pregnant and all that, and we were speculating, like, how's
Oh,
that
she's
gonna
going to be a
work?
surrogate. That's what
Yeah,
I.
I told you, like, oh, is she gonna have Rick and Carl's baby? And,
Yeah.
we were like laughing about it, but kinda.
That's what I mean. It was sort of like a full circle.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish in hindsight, I mean, it would have been too much to establish so quickly, I suppose, for it all to be believable.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been slightly more believable than Michelle's, I've got my purse here.
She must have loved those
I'm
things.
cutting huge tomatoes at the table, sitting down.
I'm
Who
always
who
sitting down.
chops lettuce sitting down at a table? Stand up and chop. She was
Yeah.
sitting down.
Yeah, you definitely, if you know, you definitely know. But like maybe someone was like, well, I
It's
guess she's
hilarious
just
when I watch
tired.
it.
Moving on to your future, hopefully season 17 and beyond. What other types of projects would you like to do? Because, obviously Heartland is one type of show, but
Right.
there's so many other possibilities.
I think it changes depending on how I'm feeling in the moment, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm trying to remain open because there are so many different parts to a production that we have no control over, So,
Yeah.
I mean, initially when I started, I always went for more dark and sinister roles. And looking back, I don't think I really pulled them off, but people thought that I did. And now that I've got more experience, I think I could do them better. So I would like to do something like a supernatural again, just to see. I mean, it's probably not fair on the production for me to just try it out to see if
Like, hey, excuse me, can I
I just like a little practice on your multi-million dollar set.
they're
Is that
like,
okay?
sure, come on in.
But no, I'd like to do something in that realm. But ideally, this is my 5-year plan. I would love to be on some kind of either a murder mystery or like a detective sort of show. That's where I feel like I would fit because it would sort of be Heartland universe-esque, where it's kind of bubblegum, is how I like to say, because it shows that I would sit down and watch any kind of murder mystery, nothing too gritty, because I feel like actors are a lot better than me for those sort of roles. I like a nice murder mystery in an afternoon to sit down. I feel like that would be me, and someone like Michelle as like the police officer. I am writing a script, but
I was gonna ask, like, have you ever considered, because you have your writing skills and everything, like, so.
I do, but I realize that I need help, and that's I suppose it's not hard. It's easy to acknowledge when you need help because I've got the bones of what I want to do, but it's the mystery aspect that is such a skill that you can't just make that up. Like,
Yeah, you have to build from the end to the beginning sort of thing.
And have different suspects.
Yeah. So it's not too obvious. And
I'll give you what this show is about because it's probably either been done before or will be. So it's not, but that is the premise of the show in this small town, right? And normally it's linked to something to do with like a and that's why the paths cross and it's solving a mystery together. But yeah, you have to do these things with no expectation. So
yeah,
if you know anyone who knows how to write a mystery,
sure, I'll just check my contacts. No, but like, is it Nice Out third chapter or whatever? Like, but with
is it what? Say again.
Nice Out, with Daniel Gregg. Knives Out.
Oh, Knives Out. What? No, I get you saying night. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying night out. And then I thought you said night owls.
No, is it but like that sort of
No,
thing?
no, no, no. It's very bubblegum. It's almost like Hallmarky.
Yeah, okay.
Hudson and Rex. It's not something you'd sit down and be like, this is amazing. It's something you'd sit down in an afternoon with your grandma and be able to watch.
So is it like Murdoch Mysteries?
Yes,
Sort of
exactly.
more
Exactly
like
like that,
yeah.
but in the present day. So again, who knows? But the amount of stuff that's on TV nowadays, might as well give it a go.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. And obviously things may be changed within it to make it more universal or whatnot, or to make it more seamless. But that's what I'm going to do in my spare time. And so hopefully Heartland does get picked up and starts. Otherwise, I'm going to drive myself nuts because me trying to write a mystery is terrible.
It's like we want to see that, but also we want to see Rick back. So,
but I would only get to do that through the connections that I've built through all of this as well, you know. So
yeah.
I'm trying to get those connections to help.
Obviously your journey here has been like a long one from, you know, when you started acting and now you're on Heartland and everything. I always like to hear when people, you know, gush about their loved ones who have supported them. So maybe you could give a shout out to yours who have really helped you along the way. And
I genuinely think the biggest support in my life is myself. And I know that's a very narrow mind, but it's not any disrespect to anybody else. But I've been so introverted with who I am and how I express myself and my journey that I do owe it only to myself of where I am today. And so that's hard to say, but I've gotten to the place where I definitely feel that. But I mean, definitely my best friend for years, Laura. She has always told me to be the better version of myself, holding me accountable, telling me not to put too much expectation on myself. That comes from her, because then, you know, you won't be disappointed in yourself. You know, you've just got to be true and live in the moment. My mum is literally my best friend, but only for the last maybe 8 years or so. Before that, we were like chalk and cheese.
Yeah, but it, you know, the relationship between the parent, you know, changes once you've
Yeah,
moved out
it's
and like
lovely.
you have your own life and everything. So,
and she's definitely someone that I'll call with if I have like something that I'm annoyed with on the show or behind the scenes or whatnot. She's my sounding board because she will literally take none of it and she'll be like, she'll put me right as well. And she's probably one of the only people that I'll listen to when I'm in that mood. So yeah. My mum, Laura, of course my nana and stuff like that, but not necessarily with where I am in life anymore. So no, I would, isn't that terrible? I'm saying me. I got
no, but the thing is, like, no one else is gonna do things for you unless you do it them yourself. Like,
right. And also I think my relationships with people over the years, I've never had a huge group of friends because of me struggling with who I am and where I fit in. And also understanding, as I say, with coming to this country and having a relationship for a certain amount of years and all the friendships from that sort of sizzling out, you know, you've got, it's coming to the understanding of the people coming into your life for a season or for a year or for a, you know, and everyone has a time and a place and a reason. And it's being grateful and not bitter about any of those moments now and trying to just be grateful. So yeah, I suppose even my ex-husband, I'm grateful because your idiotic behavior made me a better person.
Hey, if Adele can make a record out of that and be successful, it's like good for you.
Yeah, so or every single person, let's do that. Let's not make it about me. Let's say every single person I've ever come into contact, whether it's been for better or worse, I'm grateful because you've all supported me in some way because you've made me a better person and understand me. So yeah, everyone.
That's a shout out for everyone.
And I would definitely say the fans, because you guys, whether you believe it or not, the last 3 years, your support has definitely made me believe that I can do what I'm doing, because I've always had this imposter syndrome because of how I started acting. So you guys really made me believe that I could deliver, that I was doing something important, that I could be liked and loved and accepted. And yeah, you gave me a purpose at a time when moments when I was just like, what am I doing? You know? So all of you guys too.
Well, before we go, are there any upcoming projects you can tease us about? I mean, season 17, you probably can't talk about that yet, or anything. And your murder mystery, we covered that, but
I've worked on a Christmas film just recently, but for some reason I'm not allowed to say what it's called.
okay.
But
something's coming up.
I don't like to say like knocks it, because it's just a run-of-the-mill Christmas film, but I've signed an NDA, so I can't say what it is.
Got it.
So I'm not hyping it too hard. It's just a Christmas film. But that's it. I love Christmas. So that was exciting to do, just something different. But it is literally Rick in a different set of circumstances. So I'm slightly typecast. But that was fun. And I've auditioned for another 2, but who knows? Because of the issue being now, but it's a great position to be in, is with Heartland, and if this season comes to fruition, is you can't book a lot of other roles because you have to make it available. And with roles like mine, it can be even more annoying because you're not used excessively, but you have to clear your calendar. So the payout for the commitment sometimes isn't great, but you have to then say, in this industry, to have a stable job is unheard of. So you've got to take it and realize I chose to do this, so it's my own stupid fault to be in this position in the first place. So no, at the moment, nothing currently, because hopefully I'll be getting very busy very, very soon. So I'm taking the next, let's say, month and a half to get myself into shape, and after that, whatever will be, Gil.
Yeah, at least hopefully something coming up, at least a Christmas movie, you know, around the Christmas maybe, or who knows.
For sure. And I'm still talking randomly. I did a film 2 years ago, one of my probably not best work.
What?
And it's like IMDb is like in production. I'm still waiting for it to be released, and I can't for the life of me remember what I did, what I played.
Well, have you gotten the check, or like was it?
Oh yeah, that's all done.
Okay, so it's fine.
I like the thinking. It's like I've been paid, goodbye.
So thanks for joining me today. And would you like
Didn't I tell you I could talk a lot?
Well, obviously. But
I'm sorry.
It's good. It's all good.
We've been on here for ages.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna test you by asking you to do the sign off for the podcast. So.
Okay. Until the next time, keep your... Oh, wait. Let me just say it quietly. Wait. None of that makes sense to me, but I think it's right. Keep your powder clean and your noses dry. Or is it the other way around? Keep your powder dry and your nose... Keep your noses... Keep your...
You got it.
The lines. Keep your noses clean. No, keep your noses dry. Keep your noses clean and your powder dry.
As they say. Thank you. Okay.
But see, can't you tell I'm an avid listener, because at least I knew it.
Yeah, and you know, on the spot, I put you on the spot, so kind of nerve-wracking.
Right, keep your noses clean and your powder dry, as they say.
Thank you.